Hello, everybody. My name is Bob Friedenthal. I'm the owner of MyCity.com, and I call myself a LinkedIn junkie. I've been doing it for 16 years. I'm lucky to have Breck as a client as well, and it's so nice to meet you, Dr. Megan Milne. Is it
Yep,
correct?
that's me. I'm Dr.
Yep,
Meg.
yep. And I started doing these interviews like 14, 15 months ago, and I was really blown away about how much they've taken off, how many people. I've done over 200 of these interviews in just over a year. So, um, and what we do is we read, we see the responses that people send. I have a staff of people that work on LinkedIn for clients, and we record their comments from these video interviews that we've done. So here we are doing a video interview. So again, Bob Friedenthal on LinkedIn. I'm Bob Holt, Holt Friedenthal, and Dr. Megan. I'll be glad to connect with you on LinkedIn as well. So that's me. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, let me introduce Dr. Megan because we've done these two before, Bob and Breck Rice at ServeRx, just Breck, B-R-E-C-K, at serverx.com, easy email. Or I'm the only Breck Rice on LinkedIn, so pretty easy to find there as well. But LinkedIn is such a great tool. You know, that's how I've been able to connect to a lot of people within my industry. And I work with a lot of PharmDs like Dr. Megan here, and she actually comes from pharmacy royalty. Her maiden name is Jolly. A lot of people know the Jolly family in community pharmacy, and so it's been really fun to connect with Dr. Megan because she is working on such an exciting project. I'm so excited to share that with everyone that I'm connected with on LinkedIn. And Dr. Megan, what are the best ways to reach you? You're also on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Megan Jolly Milne, and I also have a company profile at Nutranize. So it's this Nutranize, Nutranize.
Yep.
And so I'm there both as a human and as a business. So that's where you can find me. And then I also have a website, prednisonepharmacist.com and nutranize.com.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. And, you know, Bob, when I first met Dr. Megan, I was really interested about, you know, what she was doing around this one medication. You might know, Bob, I mentioned this to you before, that I launched a little campaign about scary drug facts, and it's really kind of gone viral. And one of the medications that I posted about was this prednisone, which is a fairly common. I mean, it's used in a lot of different reasons that it's being used, and it's a steroid. Didn't realize until I did the scary drug facts of how many side effects. And that's how I got connected with Dr. Megan. She's done some really deep dive in this. Tell us your results when you started looking at it, and then tell the story that you told me, because it's incredible. Everybody needs to hear your own personal experience.
Yeah. So one day, instead of being the doctor, I became the patient. And I had this mysterious rash that just spread all the way down my body. And I had no idea why. My dermatologist had no idea why, but I insisted. I said, you have to draw some blood. And he said, why? I'm like, but I think there's something wrong inside. Turns out I was nearly bleeding to death. I had a diagnosis of ITP, and I basically had almost zero platelets. So the doctor said, you have to be hospitalized for a week, and here's some prednisone. And I was like, no, not that drug, anything but prednisone. And he's like, yeah, it'll just be a few days and you should be fine. And then a few days turned into a few weeks, and I was like, I'll be off by Christmas. And that I had started right before Halloween. And a few months looked like it was going to be a few years. And they said, okay, we can't keep you on the prednisone because it's not even working anymore anyway, but it's causing a million side effects. So we're either going to take out your an organ, or we're going to put you on chemotherapy. And I'm like, those are not good options either. What? Like, prednisone side effects, lose an organ, or chemo? Can't decide which is worse.
Yeah.
So I went for the chemo. And then one day, as I was not sleeping because of the prednisone side effects and the chemo, staring at the ceiling, I was like, there has got to be a better way. There has to be something better than prednisone, better than these horrible side effects. I know I need it or I'll die, but what could possibly make this better? And it was like a light went off. I had this epiphany. I had never realized before. All pharmacists know that prednisone causes osteoporosis, so we give calcium and vitamin D. Everybody knows that. But what I didn't realize is it's not just the calcium and vitamin D. As I dug deeper in the literature, I realized that prednisone actually steals at least 9 nutrients, at least. Nobody's really done this like great studies, but we know for sure it's at least 9 nutrients. And then when you connect the nutrients stolen with the side effects, it's like a perfect match. So what I discovered was that the side effects aren't just impossible. They're not inevitable. It's not something everybody has to deal with. It's actually just nutrient depletion playing out and wreaking havoc in people's lives. And so if we replenish the nutrients, the side effects go away and people feel awesome. I just had a guy call me today. He was like, I am stunned. I'm speechless. I have no words to describe how amazing this is. Having taken Nutrinize, the supplement I invented after all of this research, because it just changed everything for him. He felt so much better. He felt like himself again after months, years of having to take in prednisone and just suffering.
Wow. That's
This is
amazing.
fascinating.
And this was basically to save your own life and be able to get some rest. And so now you have 2 formulations. Is that right? There's an AM and a PM.
Yeah. So we've got, this is the bedtime and this is the morning. And so the bedtime helps with the #1 tweeted side effect. And I can't actually say this. You can't actually say side effect and supplement in the same sentence. But for all pharmacists out there, you can, with your license, say the #1 tweeted side effect of prednisone is insomnia. And so melatonin in this and several other ingredients help people have restful sleep. And so that helps with that. And then in the morning bottle, we have a whole bunch of ingredients that help with the #1 complaint of people that they don't tweet about because it's more embarrassing, and that's weight gain. And so this helps to get the blood sugar under control. And the best way it does is because prednisone is stealing chromium. Like, we only knew calcium and vitamin D, but it's actually chromium is just as bad as the calcium, but nobody's paying attention to it. And when we don't have chromium, we can't make the right insulin and glucose matrix that is necessary for proper glucose metabolism. And so that's why prednisone is called a glucocorticoid, because it's messing with the glucose metabolism. And the evidence of that is people peeing out chromium. And so they get the high glucose, they get the hunger cravings, they get high insulin, they get weight gain, they get moon face, they get possible future diabetes, on and on, all because the chromium is gone.
Would your supplement be effective for diabetes?
So there are a whole bunch of ingredients in there that would help people with just blood sugar alone. And so my supplement is designed for people on prednisone, but it could be used by anybody.
Very interesting. Because I'm diabetic.
Yeah.
I've been
So
diabetic forever and ever and ever.
3 ingredients that would help with blood sugar. Yep.
Whoa, this is fascinating.
Yeah.
So,
You know, I'm my whole family's medical and I'm not. So if I ever open my mouth, the rest of my family just tells me to shut up. But,
well,
you know, listen, you learn something every day. Every day you learn something new, don't you?
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the fascinating part of life, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Megan, you covered that you identified, let's say, 9 to 12 different things that are being stolen from your body by being on this medication. But you also did a deep dive into all of the side effects. Tell us a little bit about what your research found.
Oh, this was just mind blowing when I dug deep into what no one else has ever done. And I found that when I went on Clinical Pharmacology, which is the most respected drug database, and compared it to Micromedics and Lexicomp and the actual package insert of prednisone, that you would think they would all list the exact same information, that they would all have this amount of side effects, that Lexicomp would list this many, Micromedics and Clinical Pharmacology, they'd all be the exact side effects in the exact quantity. But when I did this research, I can show you like the chart. Micromedics is over here with about this many, Lexicomp has about this many, and Clinical Pharmacology has this many. And there's only 8 that overlap completely. 8. They're like this like divergent, crazy list. They don't match. There is no comprehensive list of prednisone side effects that is based on like great evidence. So what they've done, all of these databases, is they've just cobbled together what they could find.
Right.
The package insert itself was created after the drug was approved because prednisone is so old. It was approved in 1955 that it was never required to have the safety studies done. Nobody ever did the side effect studies that said 10% have insomnia, 30% have weight gain. No one ever did that. And so all we know is just on, okay, this study with lupus showed people had these side effects. This study with people with rheumatoid arthritis, they had these side effects. Nobody ever studied everybody on prednisone to find out, is this actually a side effect or is it because they have lupus?
Right.
No
Right.
one figured it out. So I took all of that data and I compiled it, and I have the most comprehensive list of prednisone side effects on my website. You can search it. You can be like,
Amazing.
is alopecia a side effect? Hair loss? Is that a side effect? You can search the medical term, the common term. And it turns out that instead of like 75 side effects that the package insert might list, there's actually 150 side effects to prednisone.
So how do you get the word out?
150.
How do you get the word out? That to me is, now you've got all the studies done and you know about it, you've got the supplement. How do you get the word out about your product?
We got to get people to her website, Bob. They've got to learn from her website. So post that for sure in the comments section, because people have got to be able to go and look for herself. This is so incredible. And it's really the direction that I really hope to go with a lot of medications, right? We need to know this because the pharmacy always asks every patient, do you have any questions? Oh, no, I know I'm supposed to take one in the morning, one in the night, whatever. You get that whole packet of information that you take home as a patient. And where does it go? Does it go into their brain? No, it goes into the garbage, right? They don't read any of that. And I did that one simple little scary drug facts campaign, and it's blown up. People, these are things that are readily accessible to anyone. Google it. Google the medication, find out what the side effect is. It's all right there, but people aren't reading it. They're not reading that information.
Right,
so now we need to direct them where they can actually get that good. Seroquel, just this morning, somebody asked, my mother just got put on Seroquel. What are the side effects? And I did a little research, and a pretty mild, and I responded to the patient's mom or daughter. Here's the basic ones, not anything that were too tremendous. But when I got looking at the drug-drug interactions, like don't use Seroquel if you're on one of these other medications, there's 150 different medications that are listed. That elderly patient is going to be on 1 or 2 or 3 of those other medications.
Yeah.
So again,
Terrifying.
would you, here's a simple question. Would you respond to phone calls?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah. So right before this, I was just on a one-on-one patient call all about tapering off prednisone and all of the side effects this guy's had to deal with.
Okay, let me recommend this, because we really didn't make an announcement of how do you get in touch with people. So Breck, how do people get in touch with you?
480-696-0659. That's my mobile. It's on 24/7.
Is that a mobile number?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so they can text you there too. And Megan, how about you? How do people get
Yeah.
in touch with you?
Yeah, so my phone number is on my website. You can just Google prednisone and pharmacist and you can get it. But if you have time to write it down, it's 435-429-0934. And then I can answer simple questions. If you want to go deeper, you can schedule an appointment with me as well.
How about an email address?
Yeah, it's Dr. Megan, like Dr. Megan at prednisonepharmacist.com.
Beautiful. And then we'll connect on LinkedIn as well. And Breck, how about an email address for you?
Yeah, Breck at servrx.com. Megan,
Beautiful.
thank you so much for doing this little interview
This is
with us. Yeah, so enlightening. I would really love to put together an entire glossary. You and I talked about this. We need an entire glossary. If being prescribed this medication, what are some potential alternatives, if there are alternatives, or if there's not, what are the other supplements that you should to help complement that medication that it may be life-saving, but then what do you need to do to make sure? It goes back to, Bob, I don't know if you know this analogy, but it's like, you live in LA, you've got a home there that's worth some millions, I'm sure. Would you walk up to the front window and just bust it out and spray a water hose all in front of in your front room? Well, you'd never think about doing that, would you? You would never do that. Now, what if that $1 million home was on fire? Would you do it then? Absolutely, you would. You'd try out your best to put that fire out. In fact, you'd call the fire department to come in and put pressure water in there and really destroy the carpet and the furniture and everything just to save the house. And that's what our traditional medicine is like here in the United States. We want to save the house. We want to save the patient. And so we do these drastic measures to save the patient. But in that whole process of saving them, we do cause a lot of damage. And so what Dr. Megan's doing is she's like the carpenter that comes back in and repairs some of that damage. So amazing work you're doing. Thank you so much.
This is great. I can't wait to connect with you on LinkedIn. So on LinkedIn, I'm Bob Holt, Holt Friedenthal, Friedenthal. I can't wait. I think we've kind of spent a fair amount of time. Yeah, we've been online on this call for over 15 minutes. So I think it's probably good time to cut this off. But this was great. I can't wait to show this to my wife because she'll be blown away by it too.
And I can share how people can get this for their patients as well.
Beautiful.
So,
okay, you want to share that now?
Yeah, so Nutrinize, you can either send your patient directly to nutrinize.com, or if you're a pharmacy, you can order it at wholesale. And then your like $4 prescription for prednisone is now a $50 profit, right? Because you're buying this at half off and then selling it for $100. So
spell
you're now making money,
Nutrinite
helping people feel better. Sorry, what was that, Bob?
How do you spell that? Because it's hard to see.
Nutrinize, Nutranize.
Oh, that's simple.
Beautiful.
Yep. It's like nutrition and neutralize at the same time. So we're like neutralizing side effects.
Awesome.
Beautiful. All right. Great to meet you. Breck, good to see you again. And what my staff does is they compress this video, and then we'll get it over to both of you so you can take a look at it.
Hey, thanks for being our gracious host here, Bob. It's great to always do things with you.
I'm having more fun than you can shake a stick at.
Yeah, and thank you, Dr. Megan. It's great to see you again.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.